You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the November 8th, 2022 meeting of the Michiana Shores Town Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I will call the meeting to order now. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Can you please take the roll? Present.
Vice President Michael Martinez.
Present.
Ralph Fox.
Present.
No, Michiana said he would not be here tonight, or didn't think he would be here, so. One more absent. Sam Paxton. Clerk Treasurer, I'm here. Our Chief Gary Bendix.
Can I have his report?
Okay, he's absent. Police Chief Mark Swisted.
Present.
Here. Park Board President Dolly Gully. She's absent. BZA President Matt Cohen. He's absent. Building Commissioner Code Enforcement Officer Deb Chubb.
She is absent. She sent in her report.
Okay, I didn't see one. I don't know, maybe she did.
Okay.
Floodplain Administrator Ray Downbury.
And I'm absent.
Planning Commission President Ralph Fox, Skip O'Leary here. Website Samantha Arnold.
Absent.
Okay, and Road Commissioner Rob Swiatkowski. He's
Here.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to the adoption of the meeting agenda. I did revise the original agenda and send out a copy, except that I didn't send it out earlier this morning. I sent it as I intended. I sent it out this afternoon. So for those of you who saw it, Sam, you have a copy? Okay.
What did you change? Because I didn't.
We'll take a look at this right away for what was changed. I believe I added the communications received was added, a letter received regarding 3938 roadside. I included as well under miscellaneous business, the repair of town map board. Do you need, I believe your copy, the town map board, and then trees down over the ditch at the west end. Here, this is the current one.
And you also added now 8, which is from the request.
Oh, that's right.
Where is that?
That's number 8.
That's the new number 8.
3617.
Number 8.
Yes.
Okay,
And then under old business, which is now 10.
okay, it is number 8.
Under
Everything else.
old business, we want to add E. I want to give a quick update on the hybrid vehicle.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that you're going to also bring us up to date on the moratorium.
Yes, you put that in.
No, we're adding this to the revised.
Yes.
One, right? This is
Yes.
the Second time revised. Okay.
Okay, let's put that under, perhaps just under old business. I'm not sure where to put it right now. Could go under not really the resolutions and ordinances, so reports.
Sure.
Reports, okay, so we're going to add to reports B, update on the moratorium.
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. All right, do I have a motion to accept the minutes now, not minutes, but the agenda as presented?
I'll make
And for
a
everything?
motion to accept the agenda as updated.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Oh, Sam is first, we'll give it a shot today. Okay, thank you very much. Ralph Box has moved, Sam Jackson has seconded to adopt the meeting agenda as adjusted with the addition of the two sections 6B, update on moratorium, and 10E, hybrid equipment update. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. So this is 4 ayes, and the meeting agenda is being accepted. All right. Okay, let's move on to the minutes. And the approval of the minutes, oh, this is a mistake here on the agenda, I'm sorry, that would be October 11 meetings. Okay, so I'm making a correction on that. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I have about the typos, I already got them changed.
Okay,
I'm good.
you're good? All right. Then I need a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion approved.
I'll second.
Okay, Michael Martinez has moved, Rob Box has seconded. The approval of the minutes as presented by Joan. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay. I was there, so actually I abstained, so I approve. And you were,
I wasn't involved.
okay,
I can-
2 ayes, 2 abstain. Okay, so I'm not sure if we need to bring that back next time, but it's,
I think
that's okay, because Rich was there last night, right? So we'll just do that again next week.
Well, that short meeting.
Yeah, we do. So we will revisit this next week, next month with Rich.
We need 3, you're gonna wait till next month?
They'll get you that.
Well,
Yeah,
go get Rich.
yeah, because I left very quickly. I had to leave early from that meeting, so I can't vote on it. Okay. Won't take us long to do next one. Okay, thank you. 5. Now, this is my section here. I'm going to introduce our new town council member. To those who don't know Sam yet, and it is Sam Paxton. He's sitting over there. How about giving a wave over here? So everybody can see. Okay, and thank you very much for volunteering to step up as a very needed member in the town council. So thank you very much. We are going to move on now to the reports from committees. So first of all, clerk treasurer, please, with the invoices and claims. Thank you.
We'll start with the September 26th additional vouchers, which we missed last month in October. Johnson, which is for the 75th anniversary, $400. Arthur H. Ruger was the St. James Band, $500. AT&T, that also goes to the 75th anniversary, by the way. AT&T telephone, $103.40. Chase card services, software for Adobe, $1604. Software Microsoft, $2838. Friedman and Associates for legal correspondence, phone calls, documentation, for $1,312.50. NIPSCO for garage lights, $67.48. For garage street and electric, $70.94. And NIPSCO for the garage heat or gas, $862.67. For a grand total of $2,508.41.
Any questions from the council members?
I do not have
No.
Are you going to send? No? Okay. Then I need a motion to approve.
any. I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, doesn't move to approve, I
I'm
need a
trying to
second.
get sideways, all
I'm trying to decide.
right. September. Yeah, just kind of that.
Okay, Michael Martinez seconds. Okay, and these were titles, but these motions.
September 22nd.
Okay, so.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it. Okay, motion's passed, okay?
Okay. The next one is the October additionals. Chase Card Services, $300 for printing the flyer for in October. A General Seminars for internal controls, $25. Chase Card Services, $15 for software for October. $15 or $16.04 for software for building. And software from Microsoft. These are $30.38, and for the domain renewal for our internet, not our internet, for our web page. That was $19.99. Report from the building department for professional services for the big building inspections for the third quarter, $1,600. Rhonda and Jeffrey Devine, $100 for the permit refund, and $320 for the inspections. Maple City Tree, taking down the large oak vacant street near 301 Greenwall, $3,250. Maple tree removed 6 small trees around town garage, $4,500. Bradley Damsky, legal consult for October, $625. Friedman and Associates, again for the Govalny case, $930. And we're back at NISCO again for the garage electric, $54.82. Street lights, $18.44. And the heat for the garage, $70.62. I think they probably use gas in the garage. $11,858.29.
Any questions?
Do we have the time frame of when Freeman Associates is going to go on with this? I know we're still working on this.
Well, this was put off, they asked for, I don't remember what it's called, a state. They asked for it to be carried over to next month because I guess Mr. Maloney decided to go on a trip. And of course, did not appear report, so. And I did hear that, it's just supposed to take place next month.
I make a motion.
Okay. Alden? Okay, Ron Robbins has moved. Michael Martinez has seconded. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, I said aye. Okay, and these vouchers have been approved.
Okay, the next one we have is the November 8th vouchers. You'll have to get that one next one. Town of Long Beach, police protection, $5,023. Michiana volunteer fire department, $5 for rent of the hall in the office. Office Depot business credit, office supplies and portfolios, $2.14. Also stationery envelopes, $48.79. That was for mailing. The envelopes for mailing the 75th, not the 75th,
All this up.
fall newsletter. And Office Depot, for postage stamps, $240, but that's being charged to refuse. I don't charge. One is written to the utility and one to the one to refuse and one to also the leaf pickup service. Republic Services were $4,003.20. Nelson LLC for equipment. The freight was $165.60 and the equipment was 2 ultimate pet waste systems, including the bags. Department of Waterworks, $9.36. NK Park, AT&T, a wireless cell, $84.48. AT&T General California, $112.45. Michiana, oops, I missed one. Brenda Heckman, $47.50 for having to land in the post office for October. Michiana Shores Volunteer Fire Department, $3,628.75. Department of Waterworks, garage water, $9.36, for a grand total of $14,387.83.
Okay, any questions to the council?
No, I haven't.
None? Okay. Then I need a motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept.
And I will second that.
Okay, November 8th, thank you very much. Ms. Martinez has moved and Ralph Fox has seconded, approving the vouchers for November 8th. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
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 Did you vote, Sam? You might want to speak up on the first part here.
All right, thank you. Is that it on the
Yes, on the,
Okay. Very good.
but I still have things from the Indian Office of Technology. Wanted to know if you want me to set up a time so the council knows what this is all about before we go into it.
Okay, then it's about the cybersecurity. That's, I have that part of it down. That's part of it down. Okay, yeah, it's part of it on the agenda. So, okay, all right, let me just get this one. And we are going to move right now into an update on the moratorium.
Right, as everyone knows, we put into place a temporary moratorium on new short-term rental permits. And we approved that October 8th. It's good for 6 months. We've established a team to review the input that's been received and information gathered. We're reviewing those things. We've involved Brad and his firm. It's fortunate that Brad is spinning up on these activities professionally, so we'll be in good hands. I think we're on track to meet our timeline. It'll be tight, but once we get rolling, probably I would say late December, early January, we'll have I'll call it a short list of things that we think are valid. We have to go through the process of writing those up and understanding the complexities of any changes that we may want to make. And then go through the process of public review and all those things.
Great, thank you. Ralph, when you speak as well, please speak lower to make sure that they can catch you on the microphone, okay?
I was speaking to that microphone.
Good, all right, fine. Great.
Hopefully that works.
Okay.
Whenever you want to get our microphones, or our assistants set up.
Update coming.
Update's not.
Update coming, okay.
Yes, it's coming. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Ralph. Now let's move on to resolutions and ordinances. Proposal regarding an amended noise ordinance. Rob.
Okay, so we've talked about this a few times, and I have provided numbers with a proposed noise ordinance. But a quick recap is I looked at what's been available in local communities, and we have an out-of-town course. I've had discussions with Michael and Patty separately and Sam. And where we stand right now is there's a number of our existing ordinances that would be impacted with some of the possible changes, and I can talk about those directly here. Well, I guess we should. The big things that are being proposed are splitting noise up into more than just construction. Current ordinance, we really just talk about construction as an individual thing, and that tends to cover yard maintenance and that sort of stuff. We do not have anything related to quiet hours in our code at this time. So what we talk about is updating our construction noise to limiting it, construction to Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Currently, the starting time is 7 a.m., so that would be a change. We would also prohibit construction on Sundays and on town holidays, legal holidays. that falls in line with what a lot of other communities do. It's not out of line. We would need, just as, once we get this ordinance approved, we would definitely need to communicate this to everybody, because we've had the 7 p.m. start time and not allowing construction in some of these from as long as we've had ordinances. So we really have to be patient, but we also overly communicate that because it's such professional people's forecasts. Right now, we don't, previously, we don't break out yard maintenance as a separate activity. What we're proposing is that we do that now. That we would have a separate language about yard maintenance, and that would be any day of the week, but the times would be 8 to 7. Yes. This has come up before in discussions with people who come to the meetings. Some people don't like it to blow their leaves on Sunday morning, or St. Vincent. That's when a lot of people that have jobs can work on their yard. So it's really hard to tell long that they can't blow their leaves on Sunday.
They were doing it this week.
What's that?
No, they were doing it this week.
Well, it's allowed. And this is all for discussion, so nothing's been decided. Again, with fireworks, we would make no change because we follow state law there, so nothing's going to do with that. With quiet hours, I'm proposing also that we establish those officially. And those would really be the off hours. It's the other side of the 8 to 7, we from 7 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, Monday through Thursday, Sunday through Thursday, to 8 o'clock in the morning. And then Friday and Saturday would be 11 p.m. until 8 o'clock in the morning. And Sam and I discussed this a little bit, is the definition of quiet hours. And I've done some research on that, and some bigger communities do things related to decibel levels, but that's not something that Brooklyn would get involved in. That's too complicated to manage. So the language that I have to accommodate that, the language I put in the proposed ordinance, is individuals causing discernible sound beyond the zoning lot. And I didn't make that up myself, another ordinance. It's a difficult thing to establish what we're trying to say is quiet hours. So that's something that I want everyone, as they read these documents, listen to think through that. Does this meet what we would like it to say? Do we need different language there? But again, we are not voting on this tonight, so think about it. Send me your thoughts. We can debate it at the next one. We also have to make changes to our short-term rental ordinance as well, because there's two things that are proposed there. One is to update the quiet hours that I've just discussed to match that, because right now those are a little different. We need to align those things. But also, it's proposed that we don't allow short-term rentals to have fireworks. There's nothing that I know that prevent that, and frankly, that shouldn't be something a renter should feel an ability to do. Should have fireworks in our neighborhoods. But that's all open for debate and discussion. So that's good. I want to provide that update. Any discussion you guys would like right now is fine. But we continued this from the last meeting because was we ended up. So,
Do we want to discuss it here?
Sure you can.
I think I sent you some feedback regarding lawn maintenance, like language, instead of just saying it broad, I specifically said, hey, power blowers and stuff like that. So I think for your decibel level, I don't know what decibel level is, you know what I mean? So if we could somehow say specific type of equipment, maybe, that it's going to be allowed, and again, I'm just.
well, that's a difficult thing, Michael. I don't disagree, but I've thought about that quite a bit. But most of the people in the town hire someone to move their neighbors to the curb, right? And those are professionals. They have certain kinds of equipment today, and I'm sure it's the same thing they use in all the other communities. So it's hard for me to suggest that we propose different equipment than that. But I don't know enough about this. Go look at an hardware store like anybody else. As far as determining which ones are more noisy than others. I just don't.
And I guess, again, I'm just more spitballing, but like lower than general. They're needing for a specific time. I mean, because you talk about that or vacuums being definitely used in some cases. I mean, we know kind of what is loud and what isn't.
Yeah.
So why not list it out and kind of circumvent the whole decimal thing? You know what I mean? I know it's kind of still not going to be addressing everything.
Okay, so what I hear you proposing is that we maybe two things. We would limit the use of certain equipment more tightly than other types of equipment.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of go back to your decibel thing.
Yeah, and I found ordinances online for, like I said, larger, more sophisticated communities that regulate the heck out of it. But, we just aren't that kind of.
We don't have the ability to regulate that.
Yeah, they had decibel levels and all this stuff like that. I think even Michigan City has some of this stuff in their ordinances.
I don't think it would be that hard to define the equipment, power equipment that generates, noise, other than waving units by hand.
But that's what
But you could say chainsaw,
right.
power lawnmower, power blower.
Right. Chainsaw or chainsaw.
Yeah.
Cut it off before a certain time.
And the hours that you're proposing aren't unreasonable. I mean, in fact, I would be an advocate to move Sunday to at least 10 p.m.
I was gonna suggest maybe 9, because some people like to
9
sleep
is
in.
fine. I mean,
Would be better than
something,
8,
yeah.
for the lawn maintenance. And even Saturday to 9 if you're starting another kind of construction, because those who aren't working on the weekend may not want to wake up.
Well, what I would say
These are just,
I don't disagree with that. Again, to be fair to the construction industry, they need very specific rules that, it's going to be hard for them to jump around, like, oh, it's Saturday, so the rules on Michiana shores are different today than they are on Friday.
makes sense.
But
Yeah, we get it a lot on Michigan. We're right on Michigan Drive, so right across the street, it's different, and they're starting earlier,
So at 6 a.m.
Back to your point about equipment, let me work on some language about trying to get our hands around the pieces of gear, so to speak, and discuss it. Any other comments?
This kind of questions? I mean,
I do have a question.
Yes.
What about loud music, barking dogs?
Wouldn't that be covered in
Not
quiet hours?
noise?
that would be under quiet hours, we were talking about the construction.
Well, John asked a I'll answer John's question from the broad perspective, because you can have loud music at 10 o'clock in the morning. And,
You
you
can't.
know, no complaint here, but the guys who build the house next door to me, and occasionally they're playing whatever music it is. come outside and hear it. So.
I had that on a Sunday morning.
I don't know what to say about
I like
it, to
it,
be
I
honest.
can tell you that.
You know, if I had a super loud neighbor all the time, and we couldn't discuss it like adults and do something about it, I'd probably pass it.
This wasn't the neighbor, it was a construction company, they were hired their
Yeah,
own job, so they had no idea what was
That's
going on.
really.
So, can I confirm that your definition of quiet hours would encompass just being a good neighbor and not blasting music at 1 a.m.?
Right.
Okay, so that's what,
Tell us from 8 to 7, they can do it. Okay, I just want to get it defined.
Well, they're not finished, this is just
I
a
know,
work in
I
progress.
mean, they're
I mean, to Ralph's point, I mean, some 11 a.m. on a Saturday,
Yeah.
summer, I mean,
We'll go over it.
hopefully, we can't cover the entire 24 hours. I think to Ralph's point is hopefully.
I'm a pretty loud guy, I have a party every once in a while. Sure. I play music outside, so I didn't, you know, I understand what's
I have on purpose put the music to face the windows when it was outside.
Yeah, so I'm looking to keep working on it. Like I said.
Put your own music on and face it to them.
There we go, that's the one.
There are still some private remedies available, private, nuisance remedies. So what you're doing is you're creating a construct or, basically a system that says, okay, these are the minimum rules that we're gonna have. But if you get a situation where somebody is constantly harassing their neighbor, that goes beyond what you're trying to do here. That doesn't mean you don't have any other remedy.
Okay, fair enough.
Our valuable neighbors are going to
Okay, thanks everybody, I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much, Mel. Okay, so let's move on now to B, proposal regarding changing the title for the building commissioner / code enforcement officer.
Just mirroring Ralph's statement regarding his ideas, I will bring it up to the council here, did have a lot of people discuss it with. So we basically shoved it, a little bit of background, I did send an email this to everybody, including Sam today, which was a little late, but I apologize for that. Haven't really received a lot of feedback, even Rich did get a paper copy as well. I know that there was some concern about the title. And then I believe, I forgot who had mentioned it, something about you wouldn't be able to change your ordinance if it was a certain title, or am I?
I think that there was an issue that we had, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, with regards to the budget of the title, that line, the title that's in that line.
The code enforcement officer.
Okay.
You might want to keep that at the beginning and show / building commissioner. She's getting paid as a code enforcement officer, generally gets paid more than the building commissioner.
So,
She's getting the highest grade as a code enforcement officer based on the federal regulations of someone who has experience, prior experience.
did I hear you correctly that just put code enforcement officer / building commissioner?
That's what you want to change. But in the budget, it is listed as code enforcement / assistant. Building commissioner. That is the title, and that one can still remain. If you want to make her building commissioner, then you've got to change it.
Okay, then that's the
I don't know what the difference is. Assistant building commissioner could do just the same as the building commissioner.
Right.
But she's not doing any inspections.
patient
She's
for
just doing administration type work.
So Michael, when I read the job description, that was the only thing that I wanted to discuss was the actual title. And I agree, I don't know which one was first, or which one on that, the code enforcement officer and then the building commissioner.
Yes.
Did anyone else have any time to review it? Because again, what I did is somehow I ended up getting this scanned copy, which mirrored both of those, so married them both together. I just added a few bullet points that I highlighted and read in the draft that I sent to everybody.
Yeah, I would be.
So then, what I'll do is hopefully clean this up unless there's no other questions. Do you have time?
The section over here that's in red did not print out for me, I don't know.
Okay.
But I haven't read that at home, so.
Yeah, it was just me, what I had and the
Right,
changes.
okay.
So what I'll,
Can you resend it to me because I don't know.
Yeah. So- got it. So I will send this out one last time.
any kind of final revisions. But then I'll bring it to next month's meeting unless there's any kind of feedback.
It's your pleasure to vote on it.
Yeah, next month.
Okay,
Sound good?
yeah, that's fine.
And I'll resend it to everybody.
Thank you. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Excellent.
Question.
Yes, about that,
Uh,
about this.
About Doug's, I think you told me
Oh.
that Mike Lansing was the
Yes.
liaison.
Yes, he had, so I would like, that's right, I'm glad you brought that up, because then I'd like to ask you to take over that particular thing. She will provide you
Okay.
with her, hours and stuff, and you can maybe have any discussions and questions that would
Go
go.
ahead.
Okay.
Now, I'd like to, I read through this, Michael.
Yeah.
And it all looks, I don't know what I don't know yet, so, at this stage, I'd like to be able to talk to Doug and kind of get an understanding of what her job has been,
Okay.
where this fits in.
Sounds like,
Okay, she's got an important job.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of opportunities out there.
Oh,
sounds good, all right.
all right.
Okay, so let us move on to the next, and that is number 8, short-term rental permit, 3615 Manhattan. Okay. Have you had a chance to review the short-term rental permit application form?
I did.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah.
Hey Laura, thank you for bringing this stuff, all the documentation in. I saw basically on a checklist that I reviewed that all information was there. But I just wanted to make sure that you understand what we signed off on versus what we expected as well.
Absolutely.
I saw on the drawings that there were 4 parking spots identified. So if there are any more than that, you're in violation. Also, that no more than 4 people, a max occupancy of 4 people based on what the inspector said.
Correct.
So if we are over 4 people, that's a violation.
Correct.
And then also, did you have a chance, and it's okay if you did it, but to add the signage, I believe in that BZA report, that there was supposed to be added signage where nobody was allowed to sleep in the coach house?
Yes, so I haven't made it yet. I want to get it made nicely so that it's not a chicken scratch.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get like a nice big sign made and then put it so it's visible when you're walking in through the door, but I have not put it yet.
And you can understand why that's important of not having anyone in there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Those are the only kind of confirmations and understandings I wanted. I mean, for the most part, like I said, everything that is expected from you was delivered, so appreciate that. But I'll let Ralph talk to about a little about that report that had the lead hazard.
Yeah, the inspection report, item 13, says lead hazard and yes is checked.
I did not see it.
There's no further information about that, but that concerns me.
Yeah, that would concern me as well.
It's your report. So that is an issue with me.
Yeah,
It could be that you'll need to talk to the inspector.
yes.
As it appears that the home is a 2-bedroom home.
It is a 1-bedroom. The other, it's 1 bedroom, 2 bathroom. The second room that my family uses as a bedroom, it's not a true bedroom because it doesn't have a closet.
Okay, so the inspection report is incorrect in that regard, because it's listed
Yeah,
2
2-bedroom.
bedrooms. Okay.
I think there were quite a few errors on the inspection report. Joan caught an error as well that there was an error on the address on the cover page. I missed the lead. When we did our home inspection report when we bought it, that box was no when we purchased the home, so I'm not sure. I can definitely follow up with the inspector though.
Okay, who's William Donovan?
So William Donovan he's a property manager. He was referred to us by a friend who has a property in the area that they treat as purely a short-term rental. So he Or I'm sorry, no, they treat it as their vacation home, but they do a lot of short-term rentals. It's not in Michiana Shores, but it's in a community that's relatively nearby. I have limited contact with this friend in regard to their work, but our thought is that if we have anyone staying in our home that we don't know personally, we want to make sure that there is someone around who can respond immediately if there's an issue. Likewise, for there to be a phone number for people to call in the community if there's an issue. Because I know for myself, I do live in Chicago, my husband travels a lot, I have 2 small children, I'm not able to drop everything and come the moment, the phone rings. So we wanted to make sure that there would be someone who could
So
be that responsive.
why do I think that Jonathan's address is in Chicago? That's in your application.
He has 2 offices, from what he has said. He's told us that he is here and can respond immediately, and that he would be checking on the property regularly.
Well, there's no rule about it. It's just, it's always a concern.
Sure.
Because we do have some people that literally live an hour and a half away, and if something happens on Tuesday night at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's going to take them at least that long to get here.
I'd just like to add on the side as well that even if it is friends who are there and something happens at 2 o'clock in the morning, okay, so that even when you have friends stay here, I think that it's important to be able to reach, somebody during or somebody can respond quickly. So. And if there was, because, right now as you heard that we are working on the short-term rental ordinance itself and the whole process of everything. So this may well become a requirement that we include in all of this. So it might be nice to find out whether if that Mr. Donnelly actually says that he's here, but is he really here, or does he have somebody else hired who is here, and then we need to know, follows from who that is.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And just for clarity as well, we've had conversations with this individual, but barring any formal approval from the town of Michiana Shores, there's no formal agreement in any way, shape, or form. So,
Understood.
Okay. And Sam, did you have any questions? Any comments? Okay, anything else, or do you want to say something else?
I mean, how can we improve it? It says there's no head.
Well, that would be mine. We haven't come to making a proposal yet, so, but that's a question that I have. as
Well, yeah, I have to
get more.
I have to say, it may be in your, you may want us to continue this and not vote on it. And you come back at a future meeting and explain the inspection report, because you've indicated 2 things, one that we're confused about and one that's wrong about bedrooms.
Yes.
So you might want to take a closer look at it. But we can vote on it, but,
No, I can see, yeah, I'd suggest that we do
That
make,
she has to wait.
I mean, if it doesn't pass, you're,
Well, and I would rather have correct information, and I don't want my family staying there or anyone else staying there if it's a lead hazard. I'm not sure why that was indicated, so I would be happy to.
very possible it's a mistake. But,
Yeah.
all right. Then in that case, I would ask for a motion to put this off, so that we are not making any decisions now.
I'll make a motion to push it off until Ms. Jettinger comes back with the updated appropriate documents.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. May I ask you, folks, when I get, if I'm able to find corrections and have correct information, how would I submit it so that you have it in advance? Is there?
I think you're gonna have to, did Deb review all the paperwork and everything with you?
Deb did not,
Okay.
not yet.
Okay. You might want to get in touch with Deb then and have her take a look at that.
Okay.
And then she'll report back to us, and then we'll know when to put it on, because she did send us the information to add you to the agenda too. Joe sent it later on, and Deb already mentioned it to add you to the agenda, so.
You've
yes,
got nothing wrong
Joe
with
sent
it.
it. Yeah.
It's just these questions do come up during the
Yeah.
process.
Of course, no, it's important, and I appreciate you thoroughly checking it, and I'll get it in.
Okay, great, so then we have a motion, and so seconded, so all in favor of putting this off until future date? Aye. Okay, all ayes. Thank you very much, okay.
Thank you.
Good, okay. Now we are going to move over to the departmental reports, and we will start with Police Chief Susan.
Good evening. The Long Beach Police Department for the month of October responded to 157 calls for service compared to 149 calls for service in the previous year for a slight increase of 8 calls for service. During the month of October, 8 incident reports were documented with 1 felony warrant arrest for fraud. Overall, there were no major concerns specific to the town of Michiana Shores. We responded on October 22nd to a family domestic between a mother and daughter, and the incident was documented for future reference. Other than that, we have plans for our upcoming town council meeting on Monday, November 14th. We will be swearing in a new patrol deputy, and I will get the person over to introduce him to everybody, and you'll see a new deputy on the streets here starting next week.
Great.
Aside from that, if there's any questions, that's all I have to report.
Any questions, anything from anybody? No? Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, let's move on to fire report, which will be given to us by Bob Stokowski today.
238.46 hours for the month. Meetings on the 5th, 12th, 13th, 26th. Public relations, they attended Officer Babcock's funeral on the 12th. The IVFA meeting in La Crosse on the 1st. Calls for service for the month on the 2nd of October, 1, 2, 3 calls on the South Trail. On the 8th, Pontchartrain Drive for an alarm. On the 13th, back at the South Trail. There's 2 different houses we have repeat customers. On the 14th, Carver Road for an alarm. On the 22nd, we had a medical call on Oakland. Also on the 22nd, we had a medical call on Hillside. 27th, medical call on Lakeshore Drive. Checked that was an alarm. On the 31st, we had a medical call on Hillside. And on the 31st, 800 North Structure Fire Mutual Aid. There was 10 departments in this fire. Everybody from Westville. 22. It was pretty bad. The pancake breakfast was very well attended on the 8th. It was not a record breaker, but it was a very successful pancake breakfast.
Thank you. Thank you for the report, yes, and we all enjoyed that breakfast too, I think. So, okay, let us go on to the next. Deb Chubb is not here, but she did provide a report that she had sent out. Okay, so you should have that on your computers. John, do you have this? Here we go.
John,
She sent that this morning.
Just got this in,
Yeah,
Today.
today.
today in the morning,
It
yeah.
was a busy day.
Yeah.
They had an election here today, I got to use the office.
I understand.
Well, no problem.
And I don't have it on home. I
Yeah.
don't use it.
But that's fine, but there is.
Slide this back.
You sure about that?
Well, wait a minute, don't hurt me too much. Never. Okay. Okay, so I don't know how much of this we, actually need to, go over or not.
It's on file.
Yeah, it's on file, so we have everything here, I don't think there's anything else needed.
I have noticed though,
Mhm.
they're really burning the leaves,
Yes,
but I cannot tell if it's,
It's the people in Michiana Park.
it is, it's Michiana, but I
I go
actually,
down all the time, there's 2 or 3 folks right on the street.
Yes.
and it's all blowing. Yeah.
it was very, very bad, it was on shady.
That's, when I track it down, that's really good.
It is,
Trying
it
to
is.
go that way, but then.
I went there to mine because I don't want to
We
speak.
can call the fire department and they all have to turn it on and wait for the news and Yes.
That's good.
I was doing that years ago because we had, I'm down in the valley, so when the smoke
Oh, it was all over the place.
and all the leaves
Yeah.
were down in the valley.
Oh, no, it was coming inside our house, I had closed the windows, because I wasn't care up and I closed the windows, so, because it was so bad. Anyway, Okay, that's good to know too. So, all right, you had the reports, so I don't know if we need to add anything else.
They had 8, there's 8 buildings for this year.
Okay. All right, thank you. So now let's go on to the next. Nothing from Ray as the floodplain administrator. Obviously, we have nothing from Val. She's not here today. Road Commissioner Russell Hospital.
The only thing we did this month was patch pole. Still have a little bit of patch left. I got an email yesterday about another one that I'll look at this week. The trucks are ready for the upcoming snow. It's gonna be here this weekend. I hope not. There's a couple of other things I want to mention. The sign, when we get the sign and move to the side of the building tomorrow night, it's too heavy for
So,
Nick and I to pick up. Some of the firemen are here tomorrow night. We'll get them moved to the side of the building.
okay, so for everybody to know who is listening elsewhere, it is the town map that has been up there for so many years, and those big gusts of wind the other day, the two supports cracked and the sign was just taking a nice little rest on its back now. So, thanks, Bob.
The stop sign I can move. There's 2 signposts there that he's referring to. One of them has a stop sign on, the other one's a 12 with an arrow sign. I can move them to the telephone pole that is there, so that'll eliminate this problem that I'll have.
Okay, so when you say you can move it to the telephone pole, so just insert the thing, you're not going to attach it to the telephone pole, or you aren't? Is that okay with the NIPSCO?
When you go out here on 12, I believe that one's attached to the pole. The speed limit, some of the speed limit signs are attached to poles.
Okay.
Let's go to the slide.
That's fine, okay, all right, good, just wanted to check.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Ralph, did you want to say anything about the advisory planning?
Once again, we didn't have anything to review from the planning commission perspective. We continue to work on the updated comprehensive plan, and we received all the feedback. I've collated a document. It's almost ready to go to the planning commission members for their final reading and comment. Probably certainly by the end of the month, I'll get it to just to begin that final process. Of course, we'll have the public review, and we will have a public meeting, and once the planning commission approves it, it still has to come to the town council.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any questions, guys? With early that? Okay, thank you. I do, now the next thing would be Matt Bowen and the BCA. So I have not received a letter from him or from Linda. Generally, Linda provides something for us for our meeting. But Deb did include, and in her note here that said that the BCA wrote 3 requests for a special use grant, and one was denied, one was continued, and one was approved. The one that was approved is the one that came here for the first tier on the STR permit request. So 38, 39, or 39, 38, she better been wrong here. 39, 38 Brookside was not approved, and then 412 Oak Portal has been put off until the January meeting.
I do want to point out, I was at the meeting, the 3938 Brookside was not approved. The gentleman says that's his permanent residence, and it sounded like he's going to go down that path, as opposed to getting a short-term permit. Don't know that for sure, that's just part of the conversation that occurred. So, something that Deb is very aware of.
Yeah.
And she'll be following up on the motion.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, so the next, let's see, what's the rest of this? Okay, very good. White ditch drainage board. I gave a report to the drainage board with regards to the tree that had been across the ditch, or I guess it was 2 trees, and that were removed, and did let them know that I had heard that there were a couple more trees down, and they will be, I passed this along to receive the information. And that there are some more branches or slash trees that are down now that we have to, address that issue here. So, Okay, that's it for White Ditch. Old business, the purchase of the third notice board. I think we got the notice from Joan about.
Yeah, Johnson is a quote.
Yes,
Sent you two.
Yeah.
One that we didn't get a deadline, and then they added $3 for
yes.
transportation. And then just like the ones we have, only a suggestion for someone that maybe we got for green, it's not regional, or cedar, or
Yeah, thanks.
it would show up better than building in cedar.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, from the same company, it's just a different color.
Just if they have $2.
What do you guys think?
I really didn't see the green one, so it's like.
Is it on the email?
It's an art
Is it
green.
on the email? Like a,
Picture,
yeah.
it's the same as the one we have, except the wood around it is green, dark green, like grass.
It's fine.
I'm okay with this one, I guess you guys are all right.
Yeah, so it's the first one, I think that's.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good word for it.
What do you say?
I say, go for it.
Yes, but please order, okay? Thank you.
Sure will.
All right.
We can go ahead.
Oh, I think we didn't go ahead already months ago to buy a third board.
Right, so that was actually because of
Oh,
transportation.
All right, we're good now.
yeah. I think we're good. Yes, okay. Let's move on to, this has to do with the boards anyway, and that would be something added to the one that's near stop 37, identifying the sound and its sign as belonging to the town of Michiana Shores. I think we need to find something.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Rich, he's not here.
Oh, yes.
Him and his brother put the thing in, and it was a little high, I thought, and I think Joan had to send a favor and she tried to put stuff in it. And because of all the wind, it had to come, it circulated, and it was a little wiggly. So I talked to Rich about it, and 2 days later,
He's lowered it.
it's about 8 or 9 inches lower, and it's much more solid, so thanks to him.
He made put it in concrete because it's only in temp.
Yeah, that's kind of like,
That's what I thought when he, I didn't think he put it higher. He's not that much taller.
Okay, well, that's good. Thanks for, bringing that
yeah,
up.
so back to the original point though, we did originally talk about the fact, when we had one there, since it had the entrance to the town, they would write something about Michiana Shores affixed to it.
There was, you were right. There was a real nice sign. Somebody, and everybody looking at it, somebody's got the book. But I can't find out who's got it and who the company is that had it. And I've looked and I can't find it. It was a real nice sign. It had Town of Michiana Shores. We could put Town of Michiana Shores on it and go right on top of the sign.
Yeah, I think it would look great.
It'd be beautiful. I can't find,
Was it in U-line? I remember looking at U-line.
I don't know if I couldn't find it in U-line. Everything
Well, then
U-line is not having it, so check. But if it was only a small brochure, and I remember having a park board meeting, a park booster meeting, and people were looking at it, and when we came to look for it again, it disappeared. And nobody seems to have it.
I know I haven't seen it.
I don't know who has it, but it would be nice if somebody would cough it up so that, well,
Do we know of anybody in town that it's kind of over?
we used to have someone here.
To make a,
To make some.
oh, would be nice. You know somebody?
I'm asking, I'm sure there's people around, I don't know.
Okay. We can ask, and actually we can ask out on the website and see, hey, any woodworkers out
They
here.
have to be fancy,
And my
just,
Okay.
it'd be nice.
All right, so, okay, so that's a good question. I mean, that we do need to work on that, so let's try to find, all of us. If you're looking at any kind of thing, if you got catalogs, if you know of any sources online, just let's check it out. And then share it with the rest of us so that we can take a look at it, okay?
So it's under,
Yeah.
what's on top of it.
Yeah, we have to attach it so that it would be above that, so we.
So above and not enclosed.
No, not enclosed, we should put it above, you know, it could be wider.
No, just,
Just so that it shows, and she
I'd
actually.
say a multicolored sign with Town of Michiana Shores highlighted. I think it would look good.
Yeah, just to identify, so that would be great. Okay, now, a big question had come up. Now, who's going to be responsible for the posting of information on these boards? The most of the information that comes to it has to be in, okay, let me take this step. The boards are for the posting of notices that are important for the town residents to be able to see. And we may not be able to put in 20 and 30 page documents, but at least we could put an introductory document in and then direct the people to request a document either from the office or from whoever's working on something. But they should address issues, for instance, when we are letting people know about a BCA permit hearing, when we are talking about a new ordinance that's going to be passed, if we talk about an increase in fees that are going to be taking place, like we're changing our noise ordinance and so forth. So this information should be posted, up on this kind of a thing. If the town is doing something, then we would put up a notice that says that there's, that the town, for instance, is going to have the Michiana Shores holiday lights.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. We may be able to take the first page of the monthly flyer that has that information posted, but sometimes we may want to make up a separate piece that's only about the upcoming.
Well, right, yes, but what I'm saying though is that what we need to do, these are the kind of things that can be posted in. I did have one of our residents asking me about the potential of posting something for an organization that is near us, but is not within our town. And at that time I did some research to find out exactly what kind of things we could place into these. So what I found out was that it should basically be for what's going on within that particular named community and any organizations within it, because then it gets too hard if we start putting one in, then and we may not be wanting to either align ourselves with others and stuff like this, so it's best to keep things that are regular.
Are there
But
documents that are permanently placed in there?
no, these are notices, so you know that something's taking place. For instance, if the BCA is having a hearing and they need to post, so we would put down perhaps the first page of whatever that's taking place, and then direct people, right?
Numbers and everything.
Right, and then that way we can, you could include contact numbers, email address on where to find information, or perhaps even direct them, if someone doesn't have email, but they need to check in with the office, to get that big copy of what may be up there. But we're still down to who would post these. So now, it's understandable that whatever comes from the clerk, treasurer's office, that the clerk should be able to post or request of somebody to post. So basically, we need to find someone who would be available to take it upon themselves to be able to post the notices into this board.
These events come up ad hoc, so it's not like
Not regular, so,
random through the month.
No, it would, more than likely, it's going to be, like the BCA meetings that just occurred, that was the first BCA meeting in 3 or 4 months. And I don't remember the last time the planning commission had a public hearing.
you're right, yeah.
And it's a few times a year. And
It's
then
not that often.
the BCA will have more frequently in the summer, but they only meet twice a month, and once every 2 months in the summer, so it's really not.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to volunteer, and it doesn't, I don't know how you want to work on this, whether it be one of us, or maybe there's somebody else who would like to volunteer, which is fine too.
I would be okay with taking the responsibility to be the primary person
Okay,
when I'm available.
yeah,
But I would need someone to default to,
Okay.
or a couple people.
I can do that.
there we go. All right, so that sounds good. So Sam can handle that, and you will be the go-to person for posting.
A new slot.
Yeah, they've got keys, so,
Are they
okay.
all different? Okay.
All the same keys, so it's all, that's the one good thing, we'll have some extra keys now. So Sam Paxton and Ronald Fox will second.
Joan, we have 4 keys, so Joan will always have a key.
Yeah,
Complete.
yeah, that's fine, absolutely.
And,
Okay.
We should give her the 2 spares.
Yeah, they've got to be somewhere, they can be accessed, pardon?
So right now we have one.
Yeah, so you'll have to get a spare, and then the third cabinet will come on, so. Anyway,
Question,
yes, sir.
just to make sure we're not sending a sample for failure, it's how do we know what to post and when to post it? I mean, I know it's up here, but if there's like.
Yeah, they're gonna have to just notify me that.
Yes, somebody will have to notify Sam it has to be done.
So they make sure,
Exactly.
the
So-
other departments need to make sure that their email will.
Yes.
So like he's not just sitting there and all of a
Yes,
sudden.
yes. Correct, because I believe Joan is the one who sends out the letters to the neighbors about Any BCA hearings, correct?
Correct.
So then Joan would have to handle, okay, so Joan would have to actually reach out to Sam and say, I need something posted, you know, and so forth. So I think
It's
that's,
similar, it works with these public meetings, you have to give 10 business days notice ahead of time. So that sounds like plenty, but like most organizations, we kind of doing things at the last minute and, you know.
sometimes it just works out.
Most of
So
them,
these days, got a lot of things to do before I get them.
yeah, it was,
So if someone wants a meeting for that month, they have to have the information in by the first of the month, so that gives Linda plenty of time to do her part. And then, if they have all the documentation in, what Deb is supposed to make sure they have all the documentation.
mhm.
And then Linda gets it, and Linda is doing it pro bono, as she has time, she does it. So it may take her a week to get all the addresses and
Yes,
the
yeah.
legal descriptions and all that from the county, so. And then I can't do it overnight. I can't just drop what I'm doing, so it takes me 2 to 3 days to get all the letters out.
Okay,
And
well,
what they're also certified mailers, you got to do all these little pieces of.
okay, so then in other words, Joan would let you know when she's ready to post this. I mean, that if something's coming up and she'll let you know that this has to be posted, that there's something's going to be taking place. Okay, let us then thank you, Sam, then for taking care of that too. So we already heard about the stop sign at 3627 Manhattan, but also Presley's taking care of that. And we've added E, hybrid equipment update, so that again is Ralph.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, the equipment had come in, and it had come in before, something on camera, I sent it back. Came in and I met Chris down here, we went through the setup of the equipment, make sure it worked right. Then I took it home, because I didn't get really comfortable with it. I set it up at home and started to play with it, but it's not ready for prime time. We may be able to use it at the next meeting, but I'm gone all that between now and November, so it might be the first of the year before we have a first true hybrid meeting.
And remember, December will have a second meeting, because the end of the year meeting this week, it'll be a short one, so that might be correct this one.
Did you say,
Just in the first.
did you say the equipment comes in?
Yes,
You have a packing list or something, you can get me a shipping receipt that you can sign it and give it to me so I can pay the bill?
sure, I have the original quote I got from gentleman. I can sign that, or I can sign the paperwork you received saying.
The paperwork I have is the invoice, it doesn't show it's been received.
Yeah, so I could sign that and say that it's been received. I could, write it on
Not
this
the
paper.
came with it.
No,
Usually there's a packing list there.
Not always, not anymore.
not in this case.
Okay, but you'll figure that out.
I'll stop that.
Okay, thank you. We don't have anything else listed under new business. Mr. Dansky, anything from you?
Just a couple of newer things going forward. Tonight I got about a half dozen notices from people that were delinquent on their fees and leaf pickup. So they were given a 30-day notice that's going to expire November 12th. So that will escalate into our office. This will be our first time going through that. My approach with stuff like this, and I'm talking with the board about it at a public meeting, I try to take a practical approach with it before costing you guys additional money. So I know the letter was sent out by the town. Typically what I would send them is a demand letter letting them know that this has now reached the attorney's desk, that there are now fees associated with it, and if they don't respond timely, they'll be bound to claim. These will be small claims actions, but if we file them collectively, that at least consolidates some of the work and keeps it at a affordable level for you guys. Because otherwise it doesn't make a lot of sense going after a few $100, spending a few $100 every time you do it. So that'll be those. And then Joan also brought to my attention, we want to do a similar kind of notice of deficiency or notice of violation for the short-term rentals. So I'll give her a draft or something that her office will be able to use on that when people are violating the terms of the short-term rentals. And then I assume the same thing, if it becomes an escalation, it'll start with the clerk's office and then eventually make it to the house.
Yeah, because I believe that when we were actually introducing even that ordinance or whatever, the collecting fines was included there, and I believe does have to originate from the clerk. She gets a report about it, and then it should come from the clerk's office.
That's before we had a Code enforcement officer.
It's collecting fines, so it's one of the things that should probably come from just one office in the town instead of several, but I'm not the expert on that, you know, on how that should go, but.
I think it's something to keep in mind too as we go forward with the short-term rental, the adjustments that are going to be made during the moratorium. So definitely something I'll focus on from the legal side is enforcement.
Good.
Awesome, thank you.
So that's just for their permit?
No, these are the ones that are renting without permits. These are people who are renting without any kind of permits. And
How many
some-
deficient, how many late people do we have on a week?
About 6, I think. So vary from $300 to $1,100.
But on the short-term rental, it was $2,500.
Okay, thank you very much. Anything else on that? Or did anybody have questions? Mr. Nick, for Brad? No? Okay, thank you very much. On to the miscellaneous business, cybersecurity evaluation. Joan sent a short piece of information to all of us, and I think she's got some more information here.
It's the same information that I sent to everyone. I'm going to read it before you make your decision on what to do with it. If you want someone to come up and run through this, how it can help us, and what the cost might be.
Now, if I read it correctly, it said that it was a free service to evaluate.
That the evaluation is
Yeah.
free. Yeah, this isn't different than IoT security itself. This is doing evaluation of our systems to see what we might need.
Okay, did you get a copy of that?
I'm not sure that I did.
Okay.
I'm curious as to what systems this would be on the website or?
I'm
It's
not
no
sure.
before, right? Is that what it was?
What?
No before, was it their gear system?
No before.
What was the software?
Okay. No, this is Indiana Office of Technology with their cybersecurity. And we can have, we can use, they have a, what do you call it? It's a website or an address that denotes that we're a government agency. When we use internet emails, and which we don't have right now. All we have is
I'm a little cautious only because I think effectively they're trying to sell us.
Right. And then what's the benefit of it?
And
That's why I would like to have all of you meet with Slade that runs, no, that's different than what we're talking about this one. This one is to evaluate. And I don't think there's a cost with that.
yeah, that,
But the Indiana Office of Technology, that's controls cybersecurity throughout the town, throughout the stage.
This is what you've been presenting to us for the last couple of months, right?
I did it for probably the last 6 months, I should let you know about.
Is this just a one call and then go from there and that's it, pretty much? Is-
It could be one.
I could take-
I could have you call.
I can take a 1 hour virtual call,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna come in here and, you know, because I would like to know more about
Not
it.
even before a meeting,
What do you-
before a council meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it between now and the next meeting. and kind of-
No, but what I'm saying,
The date of the
be
meeting.
available,
The date of the meeting.
an hour and 45 minutes.
You know, we're coming at 6 instead of at 7.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying, like, she can't do it virtually?
I don't know, I can find
But I
out.
don't know, I'd rather do it virtually because I have no idea what my schedule's gonna be like.
yeah, it doesn't have to be face to face.
Yeah.
Now, their evaluation of your systems, coming in, like that shouldn't have to be
Well,
face
I'd
to
like
face.
to get her understanding or his understanding what she feels the risks are.
Right.
Because
That's kind of what I'm.
we don't have any, do you store any type of consumer PII
No.
data?
But the only thing is what I found in my line of work is that like, these hackers, they don't go over to bigger governments, they go smaller governments because they know that our security is not. Well, yeah, to your point, I would like to know kind of what she sees or what she thinks, because I'm not gonna, it gets expensive quick. And,
I'm sure.
and it's
That's,
all
they're
back.
talking different than what,
That's not the same one.
we're talking two different things.
Well,
The first one is for us to go on the same, use the same IoT web address. Part of that address has got GOV in it, which is
Well, that
You
is
know, right. And this is in conjunction with IU and Purdue. They're the ones that are doing it, if you read this. I sent it to.
Yes, for the evaluation, yes.
Sam doesn't have it, I can make a copy for him.
Okay, so
I sent this out.
So I guess the question is this, you agree that we should to have this evaluation done?
Do you want to do the evaluation first before you talk to her about going on the same website or using the same website address?
No, we don't really, I think they're two separate things.
Yeah.
I can't speak to the evaluation, but I don't really, I don't want to underestimate cybersecurity crime, but I'm not sure what kind of crime it begin to happen. I mean, there's no money of any significance that is transferred electronically through this way.
Basically, nothing is transferred.
But if it's free,
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you have cash checks, you have routing numbers.
Okay.
So if it's free, I say do that. The other thing I see is completely separate. And
As far as cybersecurity for government agencies, you probably don't hear much about it. Unless there's documentation.
But that is a separate thing, so
Yeah.
we're talking about the
The other thing-
evaluation, okay?
her talking to us about services they can provide, that definitely is on.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to be a
So evaluation, then yes, and then
Yeah.
go from there.
Because it'd be good to see what they say. I think that's fair.
Okay. All right, so we were agreed that we're going to have the event, we request to do the evaluation, and then we could set up that call or whatever it is, so that we can find out exactly what, the results are. Okay, so now with regards to the second part, I guess that can be discussed after this is done. Where Joe's talking about having the website.
Yeah,
The website,
I think that evaluation.
That would be our
Yeah.
website too.
Okay.
It would include our website.
Okay, now, when we were looking into just, as a reminder for the website, we couldn't get the .gov because somebody already owned that for the town of Michiana Shores. And it could have been,
Oh, you're talking about that one?
yes,
Yeah,
that was the
this is a different
.gov.
way of doing it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's-
Okay, all right,
That was one that was done previously. We tried to get it so we could use it.
yes,
But
but
it was in somebody else's name.
it was in somebody else's name. We could not have it to a visual,
You
yeah,
would not give it up.
yeah, so, okay,
But that's not, that's different than what this setup is.
okay.
So private individual and registered the .gov.
It was
No,
some,
it wasn't .gov, it was gov. It was the name, I can't remember what they had. It was
yes, it was town of Michiana Shores .gov. It was, that's what they had bought. Or that was what they had registered for, but this gentleman was involved in the town years ago.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want to, I don't know whether, I don't want to mention names, but this gentleman was involved with the town. So,
But no longer is.
no longer is. So, but when we did ask him to release it to allow, because he had signed up for it and refused at the time. So, and that's some time ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we approach the .gov issue, and after we do this evaluation, or are we discussing that now? What do you want to?
Oh, I don't see the reason to change it.
Yeah.
The report may tell me something. but,
Yeah. Okay. That sounds fine.
I would have no reason to tie into the Indiana .gov thing.
Yeah.
It's not like Social Security.
Yeah. Okay. So we can discuss that then after we have done this and have a conference or
Just so you know,
conversation.
the .gov address is no longer registered.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we get
Right. Okay.
what we want.
All right, so I don't think that we need to do any kind of formal vote on it. I think we've agreed, or do you want to vote formally that we're going to have the evaluation done?
No.
Okay, we're good on this. Okay, great. We already covered the, moving on, the repair of the town board. Bob Sikowski said they're going, well, no, we actually didn't cover it. They are going to lift the sign up and either store it next to the garage or put it into the garage. I'm not quite sure what Bob is going to do with that. So we do have a question of actually repairing it and potentially moving the sign a little bit.
But what we discussed last year was to move to the sign that was in front of them, so it wasn't blocking them.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just like so.
Where you gonna move it to?
Well, they could change places, one could be a little
Well,
farther behind it.
It's not a priority, so it just kind of
Right.
fell off the list. Those
Yeah.
ones. Mike Lansing was the one that was chasing that and he was on here.
Mhm.
So this is an opportunity to revisit that discussion. Now, I like having the notice board out there with the major dates on it. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of other people do too.
But I love the map. And what we may want to think a bit before we rush and just put the map back where it was, because it is partially hidden by the.
It is, yeah.
And, maps for our town, just like the monument is up.
It is, no.
Let's think about where we might move it, even if we put it back where it was, let's at least think that.
All right, so we are going to need to work on this then, to figure out what we
Since
need.
you're working on it, would it be wise to put the street names on it?
That's a whole
Not
different.
used the way it is.
Well,
It
be
shows
honest,
streets, but there's
people
no
use
street
Google
name.
Maps.
Yeah, they're not using it for that.
It's a historical thing that's
Yeah.
nice and looks great for
Well, we
it.
could use it for an informational thing. We are getting a lot more people out here with
Well,
STR.
it's going to take considerable more work to find somebody to put street names on and repaint the entire sign. I'm going to sign
A
up.
couple of years ago, I was repainted a little
Yeah.
bit.
Mhm.
And, it needs to be sealed again, I did it last year.
Yeah.
But, what about the idea of putting it at Kincaid with our rest of our little
I
collection?
don't know, we've got a lot of things in Kincaid already, and that's a
I
rather
mean,
large.
if you could find a place positioned here that's hot, doesn't block any of the fire equipment, and they
Yeah.
come out and all that. I think it'd be fun.
My suggestion would be to try and find someplace so that we could have both the notice board and that here, because this is the entrance to the town at Kincaid Park. I don't know if any, well, basically, as you said, most everybody's got GPS, so they're not using that as a map to get on. And,
Well, we might wind up using both, is kind of what I was getting at. Not that they move far, you've got to replant on them.
right,
So maybe it's time to move the notice board a little bit one way
Yeah.
and the map
Well,
a little bit the other.
then let's,
Though it's got electricity involved. and
which does,
Is that right?
The notice board?
The old one, right?
Yes.
This one?
right, it does, but nobody, I don't know, that's not been connected to anything. I don't know, does that have electricity?
I don't know. I don't think they.
I don't think that they are connected it to anything.
I thought,
You could light up, you can get all kinds of LED
I
batteries.
thought it was, maybe that's one instead.
Yeah, there's, it's the one that's still, the notice board, the notice board is right by.
Okay, so,
The dates on it. Okay.
we'll keep brainstorming.
Yeah, okay, so let's just leave that way right now. Okay. Trees down over the ditch.
Okay,
West
tree
End.
creek, there are
Yes.
2 trees, one that looks pretty big. These are all the way on the far western end of the creek, right on the path, turns back out to the.
Right.
I didn't wander back there, but the canopy of the tree covers the entire creek. So I
Yeah.
assume it's a pretty big tree. And then maybe another 50 yards of the trail, there's a smaller tree that is fallen in as well. Now,
Now, the tree,
hopefully Nick knows about that.
well, it's not, yeah, he may not know about it yet, I don't know, but this is generally something Rich Administrino
No,
takes
well,
care of.
Rich told me about it, and I went down there.
Oh, okay,
So,
all right.
I'm assuming Rich talked to Nick about it.
Okay, all right, well, maybe we can't ask him right now, but let me ask you this question. I didn't walk down the entire path, but now, is the tree at the very end where it's turning? And is that actually still is it on our path, or is it just past it?
I believe it's on the part of the creek bed that was right at the edge of where it was working.
Okay.
Because if you keep going down past the path, the creek converts back to natural.
Right, and it belongs to Michigan City. So I'm
At the
wondering,
end of the gravel path that was.
it might, yeah,
I walked the path today and the tree is I would say it's definitely the Michiana Shores part, because you're coming from Elk World towards that edge, right before the gravel turns.
Right before it turns.
Slightly closer to Elk World, I mean, right?
Okay. Yeah, because I was only in the car, that's what, I couldn't tell where it was.
Yeah, I would say it's in the Michiana Shores part.
Okay. All right, so we'll have to walk. So did you walk to that too and see it or not? You walk right by it, okay, so, well, then we're gonna have to get estimates on that if it's that big of a tree. We may have to, I don't know, this, we gotta handle it last time around, we got estimates and we have 3 or 4 trees.
That's true.
So-
You can't handle the large tree.
And make little trees and he's
Yeah.
good.
He was, actually, he was a little bit more. There was one that was a little bit lower. But we chose Nick because he was here. Okay, is what, how the decision was made.
Well, I say ask, Rich and tell him to get it.
Yeah, absolutely, that's what I just said, yeah, that I think Rich, okay. Well, I will call Rich Young tomorrow. He's very busy watching TV today. So, or will be very busy if he's not watching it yet, so. Anyway, collecting fines, we already discussed that. There was just a thought I put in for myself over here. And I think we're reaching towards the end. Now, last is the communication that was received from Ms. Benson, and that pertained to 3938 Alice Benson. And it pertained to the property at 3938 and the fact that this person was advertising rentals without actually being approved for having a rental, and then, issues of her paying money and, and things like this. So I know that was going to be in touch with her with regards to getting any other documents, if she still has maybe a copy or screenshot or whatever of the advertisements that he was made, placed.
Yeah, we definitely need Deb's input, because I know Deb called the guy and about possibly renting without coming out. And it sounds like he stopped renting, and of course, that screwed some of the people that had signed up
yeah.
this place, and that's what this one is. She doesn't live here, she's just
Right, yeah.
mad because she couldn't get the place.
Right.
So, so we really need Deb's timeline on that.
Yeah, so she said, she's also going to check in with this woman to find out, and, but Deb, I remember our conversation and the notes that I had from it, that she told him this as soon as she'd been looking at it, and I had reported to her. I said, look, I see different cars there, because he's, not too far from us, around the block, and I would take a look, and I said, 2 different cars there again, 3 different cars there this weekend, he's renting, whatever it is, it's nothing. So that's when she did have a conversation. And that's back in the summer, so, but whatever, I just wanted to let you know that this letter was received. Okay, public comments?
None.
None? Yes, Jones?
Fridays going to be Veterans Day. I want to acknowledge all the men and women who have served our country throughout the years, from the Civil War till now. They deserve everything they're getting.
Thank you, John, for making that
And
comment.
more. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure that we have, there have to be some veterans here in town still. I know, well, Ray's one of those, so he served. I'm sure that there's others that we just, don't come out publicly or must just talk about it and whatever. So yes, great comment, and thank you very much to that. Okay, council comments. Anything else from anybody else? I have a comment, but I'm asking anybody else to say.
I'm gonna steal it, wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
No, I was going to say something else. Thank you very much for saying that. Okay, what I wanted to say is just a little reminder that we are going to be having a festival called the Holiday Lights. And it's being done in conjunction again with the fire department over here with their help, where we will have some, it'll take place December 3rd from 4 to 6:30 p.m. There will be hot chocolate, there will be a few fire pits set up, so we have safe fires taking place. And popcorn and cookies, carol singing and so forth. So we hope that, people come. So we will send out information, about this as well. I know that it's already posted on the website. And I believe there's going to be some kind of a small flyer. I already volunteered to walk around and clip it to people's, doors if they don't have the newspaper spots for, for the news. But we'll post, and Ray already posted it out on the board, so you can see that it's out for the holiday lights. So let's look forward to that as the next beginning of the holiday season. Well, it'll be right after Thanksgiving, but it'll be the beginning of the Christmas season. So, okay, if there are no other comments, then I am going to ask to adjourn. All right, thank you very much.